Out in the rugged and desolate land of Midian lived a man named Jethro. This land, with its harsh winds and endless dunes, was not for the faint of heart. It was a place where only the strong and wise could thrive. He wasn't just any man. Jethro was a priest, a leader of his people. His role was not merely ceremonial, he was a guiding light, a beacon of hope and wisdom for those who followed him. He knew the desert like the back of his hand. Every rock, every hidden spring, every treacherous dune was familiar to him. His knowledge of the land was unparalleled, making him an invaluable guide and protector. But more importantly, he possessed a wisdom that ran deeper than any oasis. His insights were not just about survival, but about thriving in harmony with the harsh environment. He understood people, their strengths and their weaknesses. Jethro had a unique ability to see into the hearts of men, to understand their fears and aspirations. This made him not just a leader, but a mentor and a confidant. This understanding would prove invaluable when a stranger named Moses arrived in Midian, forever changing Jethro's life and the fate of the Israelites. Moses, weary and worn from his journey, found solace in Jethro's wisdom and hospitality. Now, Moses wasn't just any visitor, he was a Hebrew who had escaped Egypt after defending his people. His arrival in Midian was not by chance, but a turning point in a grander narrative that was yet to unfold. Little did Jethro know, this fugitive would soon become his son-in-law, marrying his daughter Zipporah. This union was more than a marriage, it was the merging of destinies, a pivotal moment that would shape the future of many. This family tie would be the bedrock of a relationship that transcended blood, a bond forged in mutual respect and a shared belief in a power greater than themselves. Together they would face challenges and triumphs, their lives intertwined in the tapestry of history. Moses, fleeing from the wrath of the Pharaoh, found himself in a foreign land. The vast, unforgiving desert stretched out before him, a stark contrast to the bustling life he once knew in Egypt. Each step he took was heavy with the weight of uncertainty and fear. Tired, hungry, and uncertain of the future, he sought refuge. The scorching sun beat down on him relentlessly, and the nights were cold and lonely. He found a well and drank deeply, the cool water offering a brief respite from his exhaustion. It was during this time of need that he encountered Jethro, the priest of Midian. Jethro, a man of wisdom and kindness, saw the desperation in Moses' eyes and extended a hand of friendship. Jethro, known for his hospitality, welcomed Moses into his home without hesitation. He introduced Moses to his family, including his daughter Zipporah, and made him feel like he belonged. Jethro offered Moses more than just food and shelter. He provided him with a sense of community and a place to rest his weary soul. The meals they shared were filled with stories and laughter, a stark contrast to the solitude Moses had endured. He gave him a sense of belonging, a place to collect himself. In the quiet moments, Moses reflected on his past and the path that lay ahead. Jethro's family embraced him, offering comfort and understanding. He saw the potential in Moses, the leadership qualities hidden beneath the weight of his past. Jethro's wise counsel and encouragement helped Moses to see himself in a new light, as someone capable of great things. It was under Jethro's roof that Moses found not only refuge, but also a family. The bonds he formed with Jethro's family were strong and genuine, bringing joy and a sense of normalcy back into his life. He married Zipporah, Jethro's daughter, and for a while, life seemed to settle into a peaceful rhythm. The love and support of his new family gave Moses the strength to face the challenges that lay ahead, and he found solace in the simple yet profound moments of everyday life. Time passed and word reached Jethro of the incredible events unfolding in Egypt. The news was astonishing and filled with divine intervention. The Israelites, who had been enslaved for generations, were finally free. This was a monumental event, one that would be remembered for centuries to come. The Israelites were free from slavery. They celebrated their newfound freedom with joy and gratitude, their hearts filled with hope for the future. The air was thick with the scent of liberation, and the sounds of jubilation echoed through the land. They were on their way to the promised land, led by none other than his son-in-law Moses. Moses, the chosen leader, was a beacon of hope and strength for the people. His leadership was crucial in guiding them through the wilderness. Overwhelmed with joy and a father's pride, Jethro journeyed to meet Moses and witnessed this grand exodus firsthand. He was eager to see the man his son-in-law had become and the incredible journey he was leading. However, Jethro's joy soon turned to concern. As he observed the situation, he noticed the immense burden that Moses was carrying. The weight of leadership was heavy, and it was evident in Moses' demeanor. He found Moses bogged down, consumed by the overwhelming responsibility of leading a nation. The demands on Moses were relentless, and it was clear that he was struggling to keep up. The people, hungry for guidance and direction, constantly sought Moses' judgment. They looked to him for answers to their disputes and for wisdom in their daily lives. From sunrise to sunset, Moses sat, listening to disputes and dispensing judgments. His days were long and arduous, filled with the weight of responsibility and the cries of his people. Jethro, with his years of experience and keen observation, recognized the toll this was taking on Moses. He saw the exhaustion in his eyes and the weariness in his steps. He knew something had to change. Jethro understood that for Moses to lead effectively, he needed to delegate some of his responsibilities. It was time for a new approach, one that would ensure the well-being of both the leader and the people. Jethro, ever the pragmatist, didn't mince words. He saw the problem and offered a solution. "What you are doing is not good," he told Moses. He explained that the burden of leadership shouldn't be carried alone. Moses was wearing himself out, and the people were not being served effectively. Jethro proposed a system of delegation. He suggested appointing trustworthy and capable individuals to share the load. These leaders would handle smaller disputes, bringing only the most complex cases to Moses. This way, Moses could focus on the bigger picture, leading the Israelites towards the Promised Land. It was a simple yet profound piece of advice, a testament to Jethro's wisdom and understanding of effective leadership. Section 5, The Lord is greater than all other gods. Jethro's acknowledgement of God. Jethro's wisdom wasn't limited to practical matters. He possessed a deep understanding of the spiritual realm. When he heard of all that the Lord had done for Moses and the Israelites, his heart swelled with awe. He proclaimed, "Now I know that the Lord is greater than all other gods." This declaration wasn't merely a polite acknowledgement of Moses' God, it was a heartfelt recognition of the one true God's power. Jethro, a priest of Midian, saw the hand of God in the Israelites' deliverance. He understood that this was no ordinary feat, this was divine intervention. Section 6. A Mentor's Legacy, the Enduring Wisdom of Jethro. Jethro's encounter with Moses wasn't just a familial visit, it was a meeting of minds. A sharing of wisdom that echoed through generations. He didn't impose his beliefs or force his advice on Moses. Instead, he offered guidance, allowing Moses to make his own decisions. This, in essence, is the mark of a true mentor, someone who empowers others to reach their full potential. Jethro's counsel wasn't about control, it was about collaboration, about sharing the burden of leadership and acknowledging the power of a higher authority. Section 7, Hospitality, Humility and Heavenly Guidance. Lessons from Jethro's life. Jethro's life offers us valuable lessons. He reminds us of the importance of hospitality, of opening our hearts and homes to those in need. He teaches us the power of humility, acknowledging that true wisdom often comes from unexpected sources. And above all, he emphasizes the significance of seeking divine guidance in all our endeavors. Jethro's legacy serves as a reminder that leadership is not about power or dominance, but about service, delegation, and recognizing a power greater than ourselves. Section 8. Applying Jethro's wisdom in the modern world. Even today, thousands of years later, Jethro's wisdom remains startlingly relevant. In a world often driven by ego and individual ambition, Jethro's emphasis on collaboration and delegation is a breath of fresh air. His story reminds us that seeking advice is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Whether we are leading a team at work, managing a family, or simply navigating the complexities of life, Jethro's story teaches us that we don't have to bear the burden alone. We can seek guidance, delegate responsibilities, and trust in a power greater than ourselves. Section 9, Conclusion, the timeless relevance of Jethro's counsel. In the tapestry of biblical narratives, Jethro's story stands as a powerful testament to the enduring qualities of wisdom, humility, and faith. His counsel to Moses, far from being a mere historical anecdote, continues to resonate in the corridors of power and in the everyday lives of individuals. Jethro's life reminds us that true leadership lies not in wielding absolute power, but in empowering others, in acknowledging our limitations, and in seeking divine guidance in all our endeavors. His story is a beacon of wisdom, illuminating the path towards effective leadership, genuine humility, and an unwavering faith in a power greater than ourselves.